How can we pitch you as a success story if we don't even know your story?
I know what it feels like to post content, hoping to get results, hoping to build a following, build a brand, and getting absolutely zero results. You want to stand out, you want to build authority, and you want to attract high-paying clients, but you don't know where to start. That's exactly why I created this webinar. I'm going to show you how to build a powerful personal brand, tell your story in a way that resonates, and create content that doesn't just get likes, but it drives real results. By the end of this session, you're going to walk away with strategies that are going to make your brand stand out like no other. So stick around. This might be the game changer you were looking for.
Welcome everyone to my first branding mastery webinar. I'm so glad to have you. I'm the creator of the mastermind community, which this is being launched on, and I appreciate you for checking this out. A little backstory on me. I started as a MMA fighter slash jiu-jitsu competitor that was just looking to do big things in the combat sports world. I spent maybe, 11 to 12 years competing in the sport. I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. Through those experiences, I've been able to persevere and have grit and determination through everything in my life. Everything I have in my life is because of combat sports, which is how we got to this. I now run my branding and marketing agency that I've ran for the last 6 years. I was traveling all over the country competing, and I noticed something that guys weren't doing, and it's still something that's overlooked, but the best ones do it really good, is effective branding, a personal brand. And that's something that I noticed very early in sports and competing, is that sure, anybody can win a match, anybody can go out and submit 30 people, but there's always a next one. There's always somebody else that's better than you. There's always somebody else that's going to be the next big thing. And so I thought to myself, what's a good way of standing out from the competition? And that was a brand. What is something that would compel someone to be so invested in someone that they wouldn't care about the achievements, more so who they are, what they stand for, what is going to compel me to watch you? And so through that, I was able to build a brand. And from there, I took my talents to start doing it for other people. When I was shooting content for myself, other people would ask me, like, hey, man, will you shoot some content for me? I'd love to see what you could do. And from there, I just started doing it professionally. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew that I had an eye and a taste for this. And it was through that I was then able to scale it so much to where now I'm doing this professionally. I've been able to work with many great people that I could have only dreamed of working with. If you would have asked me that, who do you think you'll work for in the next few years? I don't know, but the people I've been able to work with, the prestigious universities such as UNC Wrestling, NC State Wrestling. I've been able to work with fighters that I've admired for years, like Daniel Cormier, Gilbert Burns, Paul Hughes, Brendan Allen. I could go on and on. I've been able to meet so many great people. And throughout this journey, I wish somebody would have made a roadmap or like a how-to guide, because everything I've gotten or learned has been through just trial and error. And so that's why I've created the mastermind community, is because I want to help you do it more effectively, faster, without having to suffer any of the pitfalls that I did early in my career. And that's why today I'm going to show you why you need to build an unforgettable brand. Branding is so crucial in today's world because it's so easy to just fall in love with the clicks and fall in love with just copying what everyone else is doing. But that's a game that's never going to end. There's always going to be the next trend. There's always going to be the next big platform, the next like AI right now. Everyone thinks that's going to take over, and videographers and photographers are going to be out of a job. There are so many trends that are going to come and go. And so the one thing that you can have leverage over anyone else is your story. That is your superpower. The most common objection I used to get early in my career was, why is this important? Why do I even need to care about what a personal brand is? Or I can just have my 16-year-old daughter do this. If it's as simple as just shooting a video shoot, I can do that on my iPhone. And at that time, I can understand maybe why they felt that way, because maybe I didn't do a good enough job of communicating what it is that branding is. And Now that I have a very good understanding of what branding is, I want you to think about it like you're baking a cake. If I don't have the recipe, how good is the cake going to be? If I don't know what the ingredients are, how long to cook it, what flavor we even want it to be, how can we guarantee that it's going to be good? So, if you think about it, that is how a lot of people approach their business. They want the cake, but they don't want to hear your recipe. They just want either results or, hey, just do this. And it's not as simple as that because if we behave like a commodity, how are we different from our competition? So that's where storytelling and branding is so effective because we're able to come from our unique perspective of the journey, the wins, the losses, like everything that has led us to this moment of why we're better than the competition, not because we're comparing ourselves to them, but simply because we have a unique story and we have a unique set of skills that you can only get from us. And so, if you want to create demand, you want to gain credibility and build trust with clients or followers, you need a strong personal brand. The first pillar of building a strong personal brand is identity and clarity. Your personal brand starts with knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what do you bring to the table? What value do you bring? So, I want to challenge you. Write down three things that you want to be known for. A big step that I'm taking this year is taking my own advice because while I do this professionally, I often ask myself those same questions that you're asking yourself of, oh God, what do I do? What am I even here for? Who am I even here to help? What is unique about me? And it's only through those hard questions that I've been able to come to the realization of what I bring to the table and the unique set of skills that I bring. And I want to help you bring those truths out also because you have a unique story. You have a unique set of skills that can help a lot of people. And it's only going through that self discovery phase that you're going to be able to create compelling content, content that's going to stick with people, telling your story more effectively because that's going to give you an outline and a strategy and a roadmap on how to tell people who you are, what you stand for, what value you bring to people. Your personal brand isn't built by what you say once. It's built by the stories you tell consistently over time. As we come into the second pillar, it's a little side note here. I've actually structured this webinar very similarly to how I did my beginner's guide to personal branding. If you haven't checked that out, you can check that out in the description. Now we're in the second pillar, which is like execution. So we'll call it content storytelling. So once you've determined who you are, what you stand for, who it's not for, then we can go into the execution stage. This is the stage that a lot of people like to skip to. This is probably the stage that people just stay in. And from there, it's again, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't take step one first. But we come here into the execution of people don't just connect with logos or products, they connect with stories, like we were talking about earlier. You have to share your lessons, you have to share the wins, the losses, everything about your journey that makes it unique. Because if you ask me, I think that a lot of startups and beginner entrepreneurs are leaving a lot on the table because they're not executing storytelling from the jump. If there's one advantage that you have as a beginner entrepreneur or a startup over all of these established companies and businesses that have been around for years, is your unique story, is your unique perspective. Because if they come from a long line of advertisers and common marketers that aren't really focused on branding and storytelling, they haven't compiled that footage, they haven't compiled the photos, they haven't compiled the God, recollecting all the stories of God, how hard it was to build what I have, or all the valuable insight and knowledge that you've gained from your network and mentors. Those are the things that I think down the road are going to pay you. They're going to pay tenfold because it's so valuable to people now to see that you're not lying, that you're not fake, that it's not cookie cutter, that it's not something that's been fabricated. We're trying to pitch you as this success story, but how can we pitch you as a success story if we don't even know your story. We can't even go back and look at it. So I think that a lot of beginner entrepreneurs and startups could use this to their advantage. Document your story, however it may be. Document it because you never know down the road how it may pay you back. So we come now to the third pillar, which is visibility and consistency. To dive a little deeper into social media, like, God, I could go hours and hours on this, but here's the main thing that I want you to get out of this is to go to where your audience is. It's not a one size fits all thing. It's not going to be, is Facebook going to be the next biggest thing? Is LinkedIn going to be the next biggest thing? Is TikTok, is Reels the next biggest thing? We're not worried about the trends. We're worried about speaking to the right people, feeding into their narratives and the things that they're aspiring to. And also, what is our story? Our story can be presented in so many different ways, and we need to cater our story to those specific platforms. We'll say, for example, if you're trying to make short form video content, you may favor a TikTok or Instagram. If you want to write about the successes and maybe show graphs and tables of how you're bringing massive results to clients, go to LinkedIn. That's, every platform is unique in its own way, and there is no one size fits all. There is no one solution that's going to do it, that's going to get you massive success. But if you can play into it and design your content for these platforms, you can get a leg up on the competition. And that's where those crucial steps beforehand are so important, because if you don't do that first, you're planning to fail. So we'll take this for example. Let's say you want to build a strong online community of sustainable homesteaders, and you want to educate people on how to live a more healthy lifestyle and know what's in their food and create abundance and reliability for everyone. Your ideal platform would probably be YouTube. And so I think about myself like, God, everything I have, I've built off of YouTube and things. Like, that's the reality. Everyone uses YouTube. And I'm not saying that YouTube is the be all end all. I'm saying that's a clear case in point of YouTube is very big for education. So let's say you're trying to make long form educational content. YouTube may be the way to go. Like Instagram, I think caps you out at a minute 30 for reels. It would make no sense to try and make long form content for Instagram. So we come now to this last step, consistency. You're not going to build trust without consistency. The more consistently you show up, the more gracious you are, the more you're willing to have a giving attitude, the stronger your brand's going to become. Because the biggest epiphany I had recently was that I want so many things to happen, whether they be personal goals or something that I want to achieve in the business. That's such a shallow way to look at it. Whereas if I've changed my mindset now of, I think now, how much can I give to people? How much can I help people? And I'm telling you, it's been through that giving mindset that I've achieved way more, because I'm not even thinking about myself or my goals. They just come to me because I'm thinking value first. I'm thinking, how much value can I provide to people? How much can I help them? I look at this. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this so that I can continue to help as many people as I can. That is my purpose. That is my goal now, of helping as many people as I can through any means possible. So through that mindset, you're more easily able to, that you don't have the shackles of, I wonder if this is going to go viral. I wonder if this is going to get me a client or get me a sale. You never even think about that because you're too worried about, what does the client want? How could this help someone achieve something? How could this motivate someone to go out and accomplish that goal? Or how is this going to educate someone to do great things? And so branding is more than just logos, videos, photos. Those are just branches of the tree that is branding. You have to think that branding is the culmination of everything: strategy, logos, colors, photos, videos. It is all one big ball that you're going to use to create so many great things and so much value for people. And through that, communicate to people that this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is the value that I bring to people. And from that, you will gain trust and credibility with people.